Look, I just want to thank you for giving me a fun show to watch. I got my entire life binging in one day. It was everything. I was immersed in your life for a whole day. But one of the first questions that I wanted to ask you is it's almost as if we have this weird obsession with true crime now. It's something about true crime that just makes us want to watch. And I wanted to know for you, before going into this project, what were some of the true crime mysteries? It could be movies or shows. What were some of those projects that you took with you on the series?
Well, I've seen every episode of Dateline that's ever been made. I struggle to find ones I haven't watched, and obviously the Keith Morrisons are my favorite because he's such a morbid poet, and I love it. And side note, one time I made a family movie, and I asked him if he would narrate it, and he did. So he's the
Hey.
best. I'm a big fan of true crime. I like whodunits. I like the engagement it allows you in a story, even if the elements are kind of sad. But I think there's a part of my brain that doesn't understand the bad and violent decisions so well, and it's so foreign to me. It's something like, when you slow down, you see a car wreck, you're like, what happened? How did that happen? My brain is struggling to make sense of it. I'm a big fan of true crime podcasts too, and there was one that took place, the Black Dahlia murder took place 10 doors away from my house, guys.
Wow.
Are you still living there?
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna send some prayers for you. I'm
Thank
gonna send
you.
prayers for you for that. Michael, Tom, how about you?
I mean, I like same as Kristen. I love podcasts more than like because the sort of the 80s psychological thrillers had a kind of campiness to them that was sort of fun and delicious and like schlocky a bit. And then over time, things have got more and more sincere. And I think what we do is manage to sort of poke fun at the sincerity that sprung up around these things that were once like a great like operatic delight, and now they've become a little more self-serious. We get to poke fun at them. But certainly the true crime ones are, of course, they're serious by their nature because they're based on real things. I don't live near any murders, as any famous murders, as far as I know, but I may live near some undiscovered murders.
I think it comes down to, we all have kind of a childlike fetish with what we could get away with. And I think these true crime stories, they kind of tap into that, right? So you could, somebody kills their husband or kills their wife, and they're distraught about it, but then within weeks the detectives are able to figure out, no, he wasn't distraught, he was lying, he killed her, da 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 da. And then we just want to know why, and we want to know how, and we won't stop until we get all those answers. So I think there's, again, it's I mean, having children and they ask too many questions, it's one of those things where they have to kind of know, we have to kind of know, how does this all happen and why? And we can't put it down until we know. And I think that's why this genre works. And I think, it's this show is no different. You have to know why. You have to know.
But also too, I love that it's still relatable because it also showcases how we all deal with loss or grief in different ways. And we see that through all of your characters in the series. And I wanted to know for you, what advice would you have for someone, about how to really navigate, either the loss of a person or loss of something that means a lot to them? What advice would you have for them about how to deal with that?
This is a really interesting question because having watched so many Datelines, you listen to the 911 calls of some of these really serious events that have happened in people's lives, and everyone handles it differently. And then they play it in a courtroom, and you're like, well, she didn't sound upset. And what I want to say is, I'm sorry, has something like that, have you ever stumbled across a dead body? And you don't know how you would react. Every human being is a mixture of molecules, and there's so many variables in our life. You just don't know. And I mean, certainly we're not trying to say anything about how to handle grief, but we needed some incredibly dramatic events to happen in this show to make the stakes really high and have people want to pay attention. But we kind of show a lot of different shades of how people deal with grief because there are a lot of different shades, and nobody knows how to handle loss. Sad emotions are hard to handle, and everyone sort of does it differently.
Well, look,
Talked about
Thank you so much. I just want to thank all of you for taking the time to speak with me today. Thank you for acknowledging that Dateline NBC is like truly a horror show. And I'm just sending love in like all of your ways. And I really hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Sharonda, I want to
you.
tell you one more thing. My husband and I watch Dateline together so often that during one episode a few years ago, he grabbed my phone and I looked at it afterwards and he had Googled how to get away with murdering your husband on my phone. So I'm sure I'm on a watch list somewhere. He thought it was really funny that he did that.
Look, if anything happens, we're going to save this video and I'm going to be like, Your Honor, this is the proof right here.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Sean.